Okay, we've all been there, right? You sit down, you're ready to tackle the big thing, that project you've been putting off, or maybe that one really tough email. It's at the very top of your to-do list. You open your laptop, you stare at the screen, and boom, like 60 seconds later, you're gone. You're checking your phone, scrolling the news, maybe even, and I'm guilty of this, reorganizing your desk for the third time this week. It just happens.
So what is going on here? Why is it so hard to focus? I mean, why does our brain seem to fight us, especially when we're trying to do the things that matter most? It's got to be one of the most universal struggles of our time.
And this is exactly where we need to start. Because most of us, we immediately assume this is a willpower problem, a discipline problem, basically a you problem. We think we're just lazy. But what if I told you that's not it at all? The science actually tells a totally different, and frankly, a much more empowering story.
All right, so let's get into the why behind all this distraction. To really get it, you have to understand something crucial. Your brain isn't broken, not at all. Think of it like it's running on some really, really ancient software, but in a digital world that it was never, ever designed for.
So neuroscientists have a name for this, the default mode network, or DMN. It's basically your brain's built-in wandering state. You know when you're not focused on something specific? Now, for most of human history, this was an amazing survival tool. A wandering mind was a mind that was scanning for threats, or maybe rehearsing what to say to the tribe leader. It kept you alive. The problem? That ancient system is still running, but now every single app on your phone is precision engineered to hijack it and pull you away.
And this right here really breaks down the trade-off your brain is making, like 100 times a day. It's all about dopamine. But here's the twist. Dopamine isn't really about the reward itself. It's about anticipating the reward. So your brain looks at the hard work and thinks, okay, that's guaranteed effort for a reward, maybe way down the road. Then it looks at your phone and thinks, ooh, immediate novelty, guaranteed stimulation right now. From its perspective, it's actually making a pretty rational choice, not a weak one.
And that leads us to the most important point of this whole thing. Listen to this. Distraction isn't a character flaw. It's a design problem. Let that sink in. It's a design problem. And you know what? You don't solve design problems with more willpower. You solve them with better design. Okay, but there's another piece to this puzzle. Our brains are fundamentally wired to avoid discomfort. That feeling you get when a task gets hard, when you hit a wall, you can't find the right words, the solution isn't obvious, your brain sends out this difficulty signal. It's an almost physical, uncomfortable feeling, and distraction, well, it's just the fastest, easiest escape route from that feeling.
And our world today is just filled with these little escape hatches, isn't it? I mean, get this. The average person checks their phone 96 times a day. 96! If you do the math, that's roughly once every 10 minutes that you're awake. Every single one of those checks is a tiny little escape from whatever difficult or uncomfortable thing you were just doing. But here's the catch. Every one of those little escapes has a hidden cost. Researchers have a great name for it, attentional residue. Think of it like a cognitive footprint. Even after you put your phone down and get back to work, a piece of your focus, a little fragment of your attention, is still stuck on that last thing you saw, that text, that email, that news alert. You're not fully back.
And this is the real kicker. It takes an average of 23 minutes to fully regain deep focus after just one little interruption. 23 minutes. So if you're getting distracted every 10 minutes, which we just saw as average, you do the math. Most of us are spending our entire day in this state of fractured, shallow attention. We literally never get into that deep focus zone where our best work happens.
Okay, so that's the problem. That's the science. It's a little depressing, I know, but the good news is, what can we actually do about it? Well, it turns out there's a really practical framework, a set of 3 key levers you can pull to start taking back control of your own attention. And here they are. Lever 1, design your environment. Lever 2, use your reward system. And lever 3, train for discomfort. Now here's the thing, most people aren't pulling any of these levers, but the folks who consistently do that deep, meaningful, creative work, you can bet they've figured out how to use all 3.
So, lever number 1 is all about designing your environment. And this might be the most straightforward, but also the most powerful. Get this, people with great self-control aren't actually better at resisting temptation. They're just way better at avoiding it in the first place. You have to design for focus before you ever need willpower. That means your phone goes in another room, not just face down on the desk. Notifications are turned completely off, not just on silent. The goal is simple. Make the distraction just a little bit harder to get to than the work itself.
Okay,
Lever number 2 is about working with your brain's reward system, not against it. Remember how it craves anticipation? Well, you can use that. Try time boxing. Set a timer for, say, 90 minutes of focused work. That hard stop gives your brain a finish line to look forward to, a reward to anticipate. And another great trick is using implementation intentions. It sounds fancy, but it just means being super specific. At 9 a.m., at my desk, I will open the report. It's like making an appointment with your work, and it creates this little trigger in your brain that cuts down on that waffling, that in-the-moment decision-making, where distraction loves to creep in.
Now, this third and final lever, this is the most important one. It's also the hardest, but it's a total game changer. See, every time you give in and escape a hard task, you're reinforcing a habit. You're training your brain that escape is the right answer. To break that cycle, you have to practice sitting with that uncomfortable feeling. There's a cool technique called urge surfing. When you feel that pull to get distracted, you don't fight it, you just notice it. Acknowledge it, like, there's that urge to check my phone, and then you gently guide your attention back to the task. It's like a bicep curl for your focus. It's a skill you can build, and it creates real mental resilience.
So when you put all of these pieces together, it really adds up to a huge shift in your mindset. Look, the goal here isn't to become some kind of robot with perfect, unbreakable focus. That's not realistic. The real goal is to become a better architect, a better designer of your own attention.
So, let's wrap up with the key takeaways, the things I really want you to remember. Number 1, your brain is not broken. It's just running on old software. Number 2, distraction is an environmental design problem, not a personal failure. And number 3, and this is the most important one, you are not helpless. You have real, concrete levers you can pull to fix this.
And that brings me to the final question I want to leave you with. So instead of asking yourself tonight, how can I have more willpower tomorrow? I want you to ask a different question, a better question. Ask yourself this: what will you design before you ever need willpower? What's one thing you can change in your environment right now so that tomorrow your focus has a fighting chance?